Hey guys, what's going on? It's Connor. Been quite a long time since I have uploaded any kind of video, and I apologize on that. But this is kind of like the bounty hunter update, and kind of a story or incident that actually happened on one of my first cases ever, and it's gonna be two of them. And a lot of people are going to criticize me about why haven't you posted any of the videos, and I will actually explain. But as for why I have not posted any of the videos, it's because bounties lately have been very scarce. And plus I do not have a really good piece of equipment to capture videos like a body camera or something. But I have mounted my phone sometimes to my plate carrier, and I record, and hopefully I catch something. But I didn't do that until after these two incidents happened. So, story number one. We got a case. Me and my partner were tasked with finding this young man. I can't remember his name. And plus, I'm not going to give out any names just to protect the identities of said fugitives. But I will tell you their sex and what they did and everything like that. So this kid, he got in trouble for possession with intent to sell or distribute. He had 5 pounds of marijuana on him at the time of his arrest. We bonded him out. He jumped. So me and my partner were tasked with finding him and investigating and everything like that. So when I went out the first time on my own to investigate the area, what happened was these people moved 3 times, which was very unusual. But in doing so, and it was weird. It was like a townhouse complex. And what this person did, or family did, was the first house they lived in, they moved 3 doors down. And then the second time they moved 4 doors down. And then the third and final time they moved was like in another sector of the townhouse complex. And I was just so confused on people telling me, yeah, she moved this way, she moved that way, and everything like that. Because this was the mother. The mother was the co-signer. Now, in terms of the paperwork and the legality behind everything, a co-signer is a person who will assist in forking over the 10% of a bond payment to get you out of jail. Because the way a bail bonds company works, or how bonds work in Virginia, is you either have to pay the court if you are eligible for bond. A bond is a privilege, not a right, first off. You have to be eligible for bond. Let's say that I jacked a car and then ran from police. My bond is set at $6,000. I don't know how much it costs for a bond depending on what you did, criminal history, X, that, and the other. But let's just say that's it. Now, I have a couple of options. I can do a cash bond, which is paying $6,000 to the courts to get me out immediately, or if I don't have that kind of cash immediately on hand, I have to go through a bail bonds company. And the bail bonds company will fork over the rest of the money as long as you make a 10% down payment to get you out. If you cannot afford that 10%, what you will have to do is you will have to ask a friend or family to co-sign you. They will be the person that forks over either the rest of the 10% or like all the 10% to get you out. Now what happens is if the person that they co-sign to get out of jail jumps bail, they skip court, they become a fugitive, the person who co-signed the bond is now legally responsible for paying the entire amount of the bond to the bail bonds company and to the courts. So that's $6,000 that I had to pay to get myself out, and then I jump and screw over a friend. My friend's responsible for $6,000. So that's how that works. Now, so the mother was this kid's co-signer, and so after I finally deducted that this is the house that he resides, or he's with her mom, he's with his mom and everything like that, I'm like, okay. I knocked on the door, no answer. So then I went the next day with my partner, and then we knock on the door, we finally get an answer. Nobody spoke English. They all spoke Spanish. And so literally after 2.5 hours of negotiations via Google Translate, thank you, Google, we were able to persuade her to contact her son. We got him on the phone, and we're like, hey, bud, you know, your paperwork's all jacked up. You know, you need to come get your bond straightened out. We need to get you a new bond and everything like that. Otherwise, your mom is on the hook for $6,500, which is what his was, actually, believe it or not, was $6,500 or something along those lines. So he agreed. So he actually agreed to our terms, came to us from wherever he was to our location on time. He was non-combative or anything like that. So what we did was, we didn't like go in there and rough him up and, you know, put him in cuffs and, you know, take his bitch ass to jail like Patty Mayo or whatever the fuck his name is does. I do watch Patty Mayo just because it is kind of entertaining, but sometimes that's not how it's done. So because he was non-combative and he was really chill, we just got him into the car and we were telling him, we're taking you to the bail bonds office. But in reality, he had to go back to jail because he was a fugitive. And we weren't expecting it to go this smoothly. So what happened was, we drove to the bail bonds office. We met a female bondsman. We're like, hey, we got to get this guy's bond straightened out. And she's like, oh, well, I can't do that, but there's a bondsman at the jail. I'm like, oh, how convenient. So we drove to the jail, and then that's when, unfortunately, we had to put him in handcuffs. So we're like, hey, buddy, we're sorry about this. You know, you're a Bailey. It's the reason why we have to do this. You have to go in wearing handcuffs. And he's like, okay, I understand. Which you do. If you're a Bailey and you're surrendering a bond and surrendering yourself, you have to go in handcuffs. So we took him to the jail and everything like that. And there are two doors to get into the jail. There's the first door, which opens up and gets you into this hallway where you're monitored by a security camera. And then they open a second door. And I call them the Iron Gates of Heaven to get in and everything like that. So we took him through the Iron Gates of Heaven. And then we went to the magistrate. Now, the magistrate is the person that you see in regards to bond. So he is pretty much almost like a judge before you see a judge. If that's the best way to describe it, for me at least. And we went to the magistrate. Both me and my partner were like, Your Honor, he was on time. He was non-combative. He was very cooperative with us and our terms. We want to issue this kid a rebail. Now, rebail means that we got to surrender his old bond and get him a new one. So instead of spending X amount of days in jail, it'll only be a couple hours of jail, and then out he goes. So the magistrate looked up at me and my partner. He's like, well, guys, I appreciate your honesty and good on him and this, that, and the other, but unfortunately, I can't do that. And we were puzzled. However, I kind of withheld some information from my partner. I knew that this kid had a felony warrant for his arrest. My partner was only knew that he just had a warrant for his arrest, a bench warrant. But this kid had a felony warrant for his arrest, which is not good. So, the magistrate's like, well, can't do that because, one, he has a felony warrant for his arrest. Two, he's undocumented and he's wanted by ICE. So that surprised the shit out of me, was that this kid was wanted by ICE. And, you know, and when I say kid, I mean, like, I was 23 years old when this happened. I'm 24 now, and this happened last year when I just started out and whatnot. But it surprised the heck out of me because I didn't know what to do at that point. And in this position, I like to try to help people as best as I can. You know, I made a promise to him saying, hey, you know, we can help you out and everything like that. We can do this. We can do this. But that wasn't going to happen since he was wanted by ICE and he was undocumented. So he was an illegal alien. So off he went. That's the end of story number one. Story number two, though, is the craziest one. Ooh, I can't wait to tell you guys this story. So, this lady, it was a female, and she was my age at the time, already had a child. So she's a mom. And her charges were enormous. She had possession with intent to sell or distribute, grand larceny with intent to sell and distribute, and identity theft. 5 charges. And she was my age at the time. And she's in trouble. She jumps. We find out from the courts, this chick has 6 felony warrants for her arrest. Ooh, that's not good. So, me and my partner get the paperwork all straightened out and we head out. And I think this was like the very next day after we arrested the first guy. So we go to the very first house that's on record on our paperwork and everything like that. And it was a very, very unusual and dangerous situation because it was on a road where there's busy streets and then you pull up in a driveway, or you back out of a driveway and you're automatically on a busy street. And then maybe 100 yards away or so is a school. So we're kind of thinking, oh crap, what if she runs to the school? We can't go there because we have guns and everything like that. This is not good. So we go around, we ask the neighbors a little bit first. They haven't seen nothing. So then finally, my partner and I are standing at the driveway that leads to the house on record, our fugitive's house. And we're in full gear. We're in our vests, our guns, our batons, our everything. Suddenly, a little boy comes trotting out of nowhere. He just jumps out of some bushes, scares the shit out of me. But then looks at both me and my partner. And I just kind of like wave to him, I guess. And he goes beating it for the house. And I'm like, oh my God, our cover's blown. We have to go. So me and my partner go, not trotting. I just like speed walking to the house. And shit you not, there's a guy sitting outside the front porch smoking a joint right in front of me. And he sees us walking up and he's like, puts his hands up, and I'm like, dude, put your hands down. We're not cops. And he's like, oh, well who are you? What are you doing here? Just sit there. We're not here to talk to you. Inside the house, where the child went into, is music blasting like you wouldn't believe, like it's a freaking rave. And huge odor of marijuana coming out. So I'm just like, you guys are literally blazing up with children inside. You all are not smart. So finally, I go, knock on the door. Bail enforcement. Music's still going. Look at my partner. Do it again, Connor. Bail enforcement, please come to the door. So at that point, I started getting annoyed. And even my partner saw it, and he's like, dude, we can't kick it in. We got to get their attention some way. And I'm like, I got this. Bail enforcement, come out now. Music shuts off. And then slowly, this door creaks open, right? And a female sticks her head up. And at first I thought it was her, but it wasn't. It was the mom. And she's like, yes. And I'm like, yeah, can you step out here and talk to us, please? And so then a male resident also comes out as well. And I believe, I didn't know who he was at the time, but, I was looking for him. And then me and my partner introduced ourselves, and we told him, like, look, we're here for this woman. Have you seen her? We showed him a picture, and the woman spoke up. That's my daughter. And I'm like, oh, okay, we're getting somewhere. Yeah, where is she? And she's like, oh, well, I haven't seen her in, like, 6 days or so. And I'm like, oh, okay, is that 6 days? Like, yeah, I have no idea where she is. Oh, okay. Well, I hate to break this to you, but we have to search your house. And she's like, why? And I'm like, your daughter skipped court with the bail bonds company, and now we have to bring her back to jail because she skipped, and your house was on record. So when she skips, this is the first place we're going to stop to look. And when she skips, when she signed this paperwork and she admitted to skipping, if she skipped, we have to come search your house. So when you sign that document, that automatically forfeits your right to unlawful search and seizures. So we do not need a search warrant to go into the house when we have it on record. But in a manner of speaking, the paperwork and everything that we have that proves that she skipped and she's wanted, the paperwork that we have is almost an equivalent to a warrant. And she's like, oh, well, I don't feel very comfortable with that. And I'm like, well, I'm sorry, but we have to search the house. That's the law. We have to do this. So when they're arguing with both me and my partner, both of the mom and who later I found out was the father. I didn't know who he was at the time. The same little boy that saw me and my partner peeks his head out the door, looks up at the photograph, no shit, says, oh, she's in the basement. Oh! You hear that, Brandon? You hear that? Yeah, she's in the basement, bro. Okay, I'm done horsing around. Get out of my way, please. So, boom, I just shoved the door open. And so we're automatically scanning for her, go down to the basement, and I have my flashlight out. I didn't have my gun out. There are certain situations where you cannot just go in there, SWAT team, fucking shit up with your gun out. That's wrong. So I had my light out, and 2 people were in the basement, and I'm like, put your hands up and everything like that. Their hands shoot up. I'm like, is one of you blank blank? And they're like, no. With some Houdini magic running feet, this kid managed to run from the front of the house all the way to the backyard. And I saw him through the walkout basement. And then he's pointing and shouting, she's in the bushes. And I'm like, are you serious? So I bolt out the door. I look left, look right. There's my fugitive taking off into the freaking distance. And I'm like, God damn it. So we're running. We're like, get on the ground, stop, get on the ground, get on the ground, get on the ground, stop. Of course, profanity was, used and everything like that. It was the heat of the moment. So I apologize. So she gave up. And she's like, can I tell you something? And I'm the first one to grab her and make contact with her. And I'm trying to get her on the ground. And she's like, I gotta tell you something. So at this point, she starts resisting me. And I'm like, no, get on the ground. And she's, again, resisting. Finally, my partner just shows up like the guardian angel that he is. And leg sweeps this girl, this hoochie, just plump right on the ground. And we cuff her and everything like that. And of course, she starts crying. And I explain to her what's going on, why we're here and everything like that. Like, why didn't you show up to court and everything? So that's even what I asked her. I'm like, why didn't you show up to court? She's like, no, and I'm like, I did show up to court. I'm like, no, according to us, you didn't. You have 6 warrants for your arrest. She's like, no, my lawyer took care of it. Your lawyer takes care of it if you show up to court, honey. So come on, we gotta take you to jail. And she's like, no, you can't take me to jail. I'm like, sorry, you have to go back to jail. That's kind of how it works. I'm sorry. And I'm like, okay, well, shit, hey. So, and she's like, she's like, I'm 4 months pregnant. And I'm like, are you serious right now? You're 4 months pregnant and you run from us? Are you joking me? Okay, you dumbass. Do you have anything on you that's gonna poke me, stick me, or stab me? No. First thing I find on her is a pack of these. And I'm like, you're 4 months pregnant and you're smoking? And she's like, those are my sisters. I'm like, yeah, sure they are. Chuck them over the fence. So I'm like, okay, time for you to get up. Let's go. So we get her, and we're going. And then the male resident that was that came outside with the mom, finally identified as the dad, comes, trotting up like I lift and right towards us. And I'm like, oh shit, here we go. So he's like, yeah, my door, can you do that? And I'm like, okay, back up, rewind here. So I shoved the door open. I did not kick it and damage it. So I didn't do a breach. That's what I kind of define it as. I did make entry without their full consent, but that was because we had probable cause by the kid to go in. We cannot do entries like kicking shit open unless we have probable cause. But since the door was partially open, I just told him to get out of my way, and I just shoved the door open with my shoulder. That was it. So I did all that the right way. And legally, I was not in the wrong. I haven't gotten arrested for it, and that was almost a year ago. If I did do it illegally, I would have gotten arrested by now. So everything that happened was 100% legal. And so the dude comes up to me and is like, yeah, can you do that? And I'm like, you're damn right I can. You're looking at obstruction of justice, harboring a fugitive, and aiding and abetting a known felon. Do you want to continue this conversation, sir? He's like, oh, yeah, I understand you were just doing your job. That's the spirit. So we got her in the car. She said her goodbyes. Sorry, I'm sweating like a banshee here. I'm in my car right now. Because I wanted to make another video for you guys because I love y'all. And so we get her in the car. We're driving. And I'm trying to get my GPS to work. She's sitting in my passenger seat bawling. Just howling to the moon and everything like that. And I'm just like, good God, woman. And I'm trying to focus, and then finally I had enough of her shit. I put the car in park, I got out, I opened the door, and I'm like, listen here, lady. You with me on this one, partner? He's like, sure, what you got in mind? And we're like, okay, we're going to pretend like that running and resisting bullshit that you pulled did not happen, but right now I need you to sit there, shut the fuck up, and let me get my stuff working, please. And she's like, okay. I'm like, thank you. So shut the door, I get on my way, and finally I'm on a familiar road that I know where I'm going and I don't need the GPS. There's a 7-Eleven coming up. Our investigation necessarily isn't done yet, even though we have the fugitive in custody. I like to work with people, and I need to better understand them, so that's why I continue to question them. So I'm like, man, I'm thirsty. Man, Brandon, you thirsty? He's like, yeah, I got something. And I look over and I'm like, sweetheart, are you thirsty? Do you want something to drink? And she's like, can I have some water, please? I'm like, yeah, water sounds good. I can use a freaking Gatorade after that workout you just gave me. Shit, I haven't been on a Stairmaster in God knows how long. So I go, and I get the stuff. At this point, she's not fighting, so we move her cuffs to the front. She's cool. As long as you're cool with us, we're going to be cool with you. So we get her cuffs to the front. I give her some water and everything like that. And then I decide to question her some more. I'm like, okay, blank. Can you please tell me why you didn't show up to court? So, if you'll remember, if you rewind right now, she said her lawyer took care of it, which I knew was bullshit. But I wanted to know specifically why she missed court. Then she changed it up and said she had work. At that point, I lost my freaking shit. Like, if there was a table, that table would have been flipped over halfway across the parking lot. I was furious. And I'm like, listen here. You're a mom, right? And she's like, yes. And you told me you were pregnant, so you're obviously going to be expecting another one. Yes? And she's like, yes. I'm like, okay. Here's court bullshit. This is work bullshit. You need to take care of your court bullshit before you do your work bullshit. Here's work bullshit. Here's court bullshit. You get my drift? And she's like, yes. I'm like, you need to get your shit together. Because you have a daughter that's currently living and breathing out here, and that's currently, alive and walking around outside. And you have another human being growing inside you right now. If you don't get your shit together, you're going to give birth to that baby in prison. How do you think you want your daughter and your newborn kid to think about you if you can't get your act together? You do not want the worst parent award ever. You can fix this, but you need to make the effort to fix this. If you can't figure out what's important, like court bullshit compared to work bullshit, your priorities are crossed. And she's like, okay, yeah. And I'm like, all right, let's get your ass to jail. So we got her to jail. End of story. I was mad at her and everything like that. I don't know what happened to her. I don't know if she's facing prison time, but with those charges, I'm pretty sure she is. I honestly don't know what happened. But that was the craziest one because it was the first foot pursuit I ever gotten into and everything like that. And that just meant that I needed more training. Because honestly, I really should have NFL linebacked her onto the ground, but I'm thankful that I didn't. Like, I don't even know if she was really pregnant or not. I don't know if she was bullshitting me, but when she told me that, I almost had a heart attack because I'm like, did we use too much force on her? Or what if we tased her? Like, what? A lot of questions were racing through my mind. And thankfully, none of that happened, but I was still trying to think of what would have happened if I did. And I didn't know. Like, I honestly had no idea what would have happened had any of that stuff that I said I was going to do happened. Thankfully, none of it did. No charges were pressed on me. I am currently not in jail. I have never been to jail, and I plan to keep it that way. So that was the craziest one. And right now, it is August of 2019, and the bounty, and after that happened, that's when I started recording stuff. But literally, guys, I haven't had anything like, holy shit, that was batshit crazy happen, YouTube worthy. My buddies and everything, when I took a short break from the bounty hunting, they have some weird shit on their phones, but it's great. And I want to be a part of that action and actually, capture something like, holy shit, I can't believe this happened, and I got that on camera. And of course, you know, back then when I said it's going to be uncut and everything like that, I will obviously go back and look at the footage just to see what would be appropriate for YouTube and everything. Like the harsh language, I couldn't give two shits about. But like nudity and everything like that, that's going to be blurred. Because I kid you not, my buddies actually a few months back arrested a transgender, but the family jewels have not been stolen yet. So, and this transgender was naked when they arrested this individual. I don't want to go with the him or her or anything like that, but so, and I'm watching this and I'm like, this shit actually happened, like holy crap. And I wanted to be a part of that. I want to record stuff for you guys. I want to be the guy that provides you wicked content, unlike Patty Mayo and all that other crapola. But there are a couple of bounty hunters there on YouTube, like Bounty Hunter Boot Camp. That dude's awesome. I recommend watching him if you guys haven't already. But I want to be that other person that you can definitely watch this stuff and know that it is real. So, and I can't wait for that. The only problem is there aren't a lot of cases nowadays. But I'm getting my hopes up, though. There's a couple that I've been working on. I'm working on one right now. I'm not going into the details about it because the case is still ongoing and everything like that. I'll tell you about that more later. But quick update for you guys, and just let you know that I'm still alive and everything like that. I'm still kicking, still making good content, sort of. And just enjoying the YouTube and just enjoying my audience and just letting you guys know that I am still around. And I don't plan on going anywhere anytime soon. I am kind of contemplating a career change, though. But I'll talk about that in the future and everything like that. This video is almost going on 30 minutes. So I'm pretty sure you guys don't want to watch 30 minutes of me telling stories when I could have just recorded this shit to begin with and then posted it on YouTube for you guys to watch. But yeah. So thank you guys so much for watching, and just stay tuned, guys. Thank you guys for being patient with me. Thank you so much. I'm just waiting for that right moment and everything like that. So, and then I'll post that one up on the internet and everything like that. Even simple captures and everything like that. I have a couple of them that I recorded back in December that I will definitely post, but not a lot happens. That's the thing. Like, there's no like running or getting tased or guns out and everything like that. There's nothing like that. It's just simple negotiations and walking them back to jail, pretty much. But if you guys want those videos, I do have them. But other than that, stay cool, y'all. Peace.